November is without a doubt the most stacked month of game releases this year. We've got so many games to go over, spanning all platforms with 20 games to go over. Let's get right into the top 20 upcoming games of November 2017. Number 20, Black Mirror. A new adventure from the Black Mirror franchise will be released on current-gen platforms. Being published by THQ Nordic, while this will be a new Black Mirror title, the other games going back to 2004, it's not going to be essential for you to play those games, and those that are unfamiliar with the previous games in the series can also enjoy the new Black Mirror. This is a reboot of the franchise and tells a totally independent and new story. One of the new major gameplay elements is interaction with vision-like apparitions. Black Mirror will be released on PC, PS4, and Xbox One on November 28th.
We've introduced a new kind of gameplay to the game, with specifically tailored at a certain aspect of the game, which you can see now in the B-roll, is that one big topic in basically gothic horror and also in all the Black Mirrors is always going insane. So struggling with your own sanity. So here you can see how the player basically, or the character in this case, walks around the room, and the room becomes more and more surreal the more he explores it. For him, this is just like he's doubting his own.
Number 19, The Sims 4 on consoles. The Sims 4 is headed to consoles, and this will feature everything you experience in the PC version. A lot of the latest content on PC won't be available right away on consoles, but will be available later through periodic updates. Sims is one of those franchises that has been absent on the current generation of consoles, so it'll be nice to see Sims 4 finally arrive to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on November 17th. Number 18, Tannenberg. Tannenberg is a standalone expansion to the World War I multiplayer FPS Verdun, taking the 1914 to 1918 World War I game series to the Eastern Front. Warfare on the border of the Russian Empire is a tense battle for dominance. Stay close to your squad to survive. This is once again a very historical game taking place across the lakes, forests, and snowy plains of the Eastern Front. It was of course inspired by the Battle of Tannenberg in 1914, one of the most iconic battles in history. Tannenberg will be coming to PC on November 16th. Number 17, Rime. Rime is an extremely artistic puzzle adventure game. It's very reminiscent to games such as The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and the Team Ico titles. However, this game is not at that level, but it is very good. It's been released on several platforms, but it finally hits the Nintendo Switch on November 14th. Number 16, The Inpatient. The Inpatient is a psychological horror game developed by Supermassive Games and published by Sony. If you don't know who Supermassive Games are, and I don't blame you, they're not the most well-known studio in the world, but they worked on the very zany Until Dawn. This game is actually set 60 years before the events of Until Dawn, and it does utilize the PlayStation 4's virtual reality headset, PSVR. You play as a patient suffering from amnesia, intent on reclaiming their memories. The Inpatient comes to PS4 on November 21st.
Things have never
Number 15, Monster of the Deep Final Fantasy 15. Monster of the Deep is the latest in the Final Fantasy 15 experience. It's a downloadable virtual reality title, and we've known that FF15 was gonna hit VR at some point. Originally, we were expecting something of a first-person shooter, but Square Enix decided to go back on that, and instead, it's a very immersive fishing title. It was changed into that because Square Enix thought that the latter had a much higher level of immersion. That's probably the case. Monster of the Deep Final Fantasy 15 hits PS4 on November 21st. Number 14, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR. Yet another release of The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. At this point, it is becoming a little much, but hey, we have virtual reality, we might as well take a Bethesda open world game there, and playing through Skyrim in VR with this new edition of Skyrim does sound pretty exciting. As far as gameplay refinements go, we're not going to be seeing much of that. It will include the base game as well as all of the extra content, so that's very nice. If somehow you've never played Skyrim at this point, maybe virtual reality is the way to go for you if you really want that immersive experience, and if you're just so much in love with Skyrim that you want every experience that it has to offer, then obviously a VR version will probably be right up your alley. It comes November 17th on the PS4 and PC. Number 13, Super Lucky's Tale. Super Lucky's Tale is the sequel to Lucky's Tale, which was a relatively good platformer, far from perfect. However, it really gives you that nostalgic platformer feel. And you can be sure to expect the same from Super Lucky's Tale. If it can improve upon the first game while retaining what made that game good, it could be a sleeper hit. It releases on November 7th for PC and Xbox One. Number 12, Need for Speed Payback. Need for Speed is back once again with Need for Speed Payback, a racing game set in an open world environment, and it'll be focused more on action driving, and it'll have 3 playable characters, each with different sets of skills. They have to work together to pull off action movie-like stunts, and it's a pretty interesting game. It'll feature a 24-hour day and night cycle unlike the previous titles, and so far what we've seen of Payback looks pretty good. The last Need for Speed game that released in 2015 wasn't very good. Hopefully Need for Speed Payback can change that pace when it releases on November 10th for PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
This is a place called Ember Valley. You look at it, it's sunny, it's hot, it makes you thirsty just looking at it. And it's the perfect setting for an action movie heist like the one you're about to do.
So one of the things that's already really cool is that I can just drive off-road. You're no longer confined completely to the road.
That's right. It's the most open Need for Speed experience we've ever built. So you can find your own path. I mean, we've got checkpoints in this mission to lead you straight to that truck. But when you're free roaming, you can go off-road. You can explore this world. It's massive, and there's tons to explore and tons to find.
Cool. So what's going on here? There's the truck. That's what we got to take down.
Point, the crew.
Number 11, Resident Evil Revelations Collection. Resident Evil Revelations is headed to the Nintendo Switch in the form of Resident Evil Revelations Collection, which will include both games. The first Revelations game was released back on the 3DS and it was ported to several other platforms. It was very good, as was the second game, which was an episodic experience, very good in its own right, however. The Resident Evil Revelations Collection comes to Switch on November 28th.
Time.
Number 10, .hack GU Last Recode. The PlayStation 2 was a hub for amazing Japanese RPGs. .hack probably wasn't among the absolute best, but it was a great JRPG series, and .hack GU was very good as well. It was the second iteration of .hack, the first having 4 episodes, GU having 3. However, Last Recode bundles all 3 episodes with all your typical HD remastering upgrades, and it will include a 4th episode titled Recollection. Chances are that isn't going to be as big as the other 3 games, but it's a nice inclusion nonetheless. The collection will also feature some refinements to make the overall game better. It hits PS4 and PC on November 3rd. Number 9, Mario Party The Top 100. When you talk about pure fun, Mario Party has that in spades. It's been long running for many years, and Mario Party The Top 100 is the same style party game, and it's a compilation of the 100 best mini games from throughout the Mario Party series. That sounds pretty great. It's going to be coming to the Nintendo 3DS on November 10th. Number 8, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. At this point, if you haven't played a Pokemon game and don't know what to expect, you've really been living under a rock. Nonetheless, the series is back once again with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, the upgrade to last year's Sun and Moon. These games will feature an alternate storyline set in Sun and Moon's world and will feature Pokemon and locations not available in the original games. Among the other new Pokemons, you also have 3 new Ultra Beasts and other brand new content. If you're a Pokemon fan, this is going to be right up your alley. If you haven't enjoyed Pokemon at this point, this probably won't change your mind. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon hits the 3DS on November 17. Number 7, LA Noire Remastered. LA Noire was one of Rockstar's more low-key titles. At the time of its release back in 2010, there was a lot of anticipation surrounding the game, but at this point in 2017, it's a game that a lot of people have just forgotten about. It was a really good game with a very interesting setting and noir-type presentation. Sure, it wasn't perfect from a gameplay standpoint, but the things that they accomplished with the facial features and detail were absolutely groundbreaking. Now LA Noire is coming back remastered onto current generation platforms. If you haven't played it, this is a game that I would recommend to go and check out. It's very different than a lot of other games, and it'll be hitting the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch on November 14th. Number 6, Call of Duty World War II. A year goes by and we have to have a new Call of Duty game, and now Call of Duty is going back to World War II, which is a very nice change of pace for the franchise that has been getting a little stale. Gamers have been saying that for several years, but it still ends up selling really well, so I don't know how much weight you can put behind that, but nonetheless, Call of Duty is back once again, and this will feature a single-player mode, multiplayer mode, and you'll have a zombies mode as well. The multiplayer has seen a lot of refinements and changes, some to the ire of several gamers, but at this point, Call of Duty is another one of those franchises that if you're on the yearly grind with COD, you're probably stuck with it until the franchise dies. Call of Duty World War II comes to the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on November 3rd.
For a lot of people, so you're experiencing a squadron that is in the, or a platoon that is in the 1st Division that goes across, it starts in Normandy, goes all the way across France, Belgium, and into Germany. It's and some of the biggest battles of World War II, from Battle of the Bulge to Hürtgen Forest and the liberation of Paris.
Now, I know you guys are focusing on that European front for the campaign, but I think I caught a hint that maybe it might expand a bit on the multiplayer side. So what are you at liberty to say at this point in time?
But we showed a lot in the trailer. You're catching part of
Number 5, Nioh Complete Edition. Nioh is headed to the PC in the form of Nioh Complete Edition, and that's very exciting. Nioh was a fantastic game on the PlayStation 4. It had a lot of Souls-like elements. It was a very challenging game, but fair in its own right, and the gameplay was absolutely superb, and the Japanese setting and elements added a lot to the overall experience of the game. Now, the game is coming to PC, but I would remain very hesitant. This is a game by Tecmo Koei, and their PC ports have been very hit or miss. More often than not, they've been missed, so it's exciting that Nioh's headed to the PC, but this has potential to turn out really badly, and that would be a shame because the game is so good that whatever platform it releases on, it deserves to run as best as possible, and you know on PC with the hardware available, it can look really good. Let's just hope Tecmo Koei delivers when it releases on November 7th. Number 4, Sonic Forces. Sonic is back once again, and after the great momentum that Sonic Mania set, let's hope that Sonic Forces can turn out to be a great game as well. Forces is more of a higher budget style game. It follows Sonic as he leads a resistance force against Dr. Eggman, who has taken over the world with the help of his robot army and a mysterious new villain known as Infinite. Gameplay of Sonic Forces will be similar to Sonic Generations, which is very exciting because Generations was an amazing game. Players control classic and modern versions of Sonic. The former plays from a 2.5D side-scrolling view, reminiscent of the older Sonic games, while the latter uses three-dimensional gameplay similar to Sonic Colors. Sonic Forces has potential to be a very good game. It hits the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on November 7th.
In just 3 short days, my plan will eliminate the bothersome lot of you.
Fine. I will teach you fear, then pain.
We have to show them that strength doesn't just come from numbers.
Let's go!
Together we can show the world what we can do. You are next to me and I'm next to you. Push me through until the battle's won. No one's gonna get through to us. Into each other
When we join forces, the sky's the limit.
Number 3, Horizon Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds. Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the highly anticipated PlayStation 4 exclusives this year. It was developed by Guerrilla Games, the guys that were known for the Killzone games. However, Horizon is a post-apocalyptic open-world action RPG, and it was a great game. It had some issues, but overall, Guerrilla set the foundation for what could be an exceptionally great series. The Frozen Wilds is the latest in Horizon. It's a new expansion including new storylines, characters, and experiences in a beautiful but unforgiving new area. You'll uncover a compelling new story, explore a brand new area, and face new machines. If you enjoyed Horizon, The Frozen Wilds is going to be right up your alley. It hits the PS4 on November 7th.
I'm not here for glory. I'm here for the mountain. For answers.
Then you must face the beast that guards it.
Number 2, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim on the Switch. Yes, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is appearing on this list twice. We consider these two different styles of experiences. We've got a VR experience and a more portable and console experience. The Switch has been a great platform, and to get an open world RPG like Skyrim on it, where we can play at home and on the go, is gonna be great. This is really the first time where we've had Skyrim on the go. I know there's been some ways to stream the PC version on mobile platforms, but to have a game made by Bethesda on a portable platform, the Switch is the first one, and that should be great. And of course, as with all Elder Scrolls V Skyrim releases, you'll have all of the DLC content, so you can invest a lot of time into Skyrim. And if you've been a gamer that only uses Nintendo platforms, maybe this will be your first time experiencing Skyrim, and you're in for one hell of an experience on the Switch on November 17th. And finally, number 1, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront was one of the highly anticipated games of this generation. The first entry released back in 2015, and most gamers I think would agree saying that it was a disappointment. The core fundamentals of the game were good. The gameplay was solid. The real issue was a very much lack of content. You had no traditional single player mode, and the multiplayer was rather bare bones. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to change that. You've got your traditional single player mode that's story driven, and the multiplayer looks like it has a lot more depth to it with a lot of different classes and different generational characters. So Star Wars Battlefront 2, if it can build upon what Battlefront did, add more content, and be a more complete experience for your $60, this has potential to be one of the best games of the year. Star Wars Battlefront 2 hits the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on November 17th. However, if you do pick up the Deluxe Edition, you'll get it on November 14th.
We're hooding the transport.
So that wraps up our countdown of the top 20 games coming in November. What do you think? Which games are you looking forward to the most in November? Comment your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.